was something that was stuck in school. High school was some of the best years of my life. I was class president, top team, student council, MC the pep rallies, had demonstration drives, and the teachers gave me gifts when I graduated. I was kind of one of these high-profile, snobby kids. Poor, dirt poor, and popular. And I'm friendly to everybody. I mean, nobody had a clue what was going on in our house. I went to school, I went with this Canadian face on, and you'd have thought I was being raised by the Beavers. Family business stays at home. We don't go to school and talk about what's going on in the family. There were a lot of rules, right? It's kind of like this convention. This convention has a lot of rules. I've never been to a convention with this many rules, and I'm trying to be good. I really am. We had a lot of rules right here. One was big boys don't cry. Don't you cry. I'll give you something to cry about. Don't feel bad. If you feel bad, there's something wrong with you. So don't you feel bad. Winners never quit. Quitters never win. Exceptions are made for exceptional people. Practice makes perfect. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can do anything you put your mind to. Always give a man a good hand. Always tell the truth. These rules just about killed me trying to live by these rules. I can't go to my dad and say, gee, Dad, it just scares me to death when you hit Mom. I can't say that. I can't tell the truth. I learned to tell my dad whatever I thought he wanted to hear. And that's the way I lived my whole life. That's why I was popular in high school. I could change teams in the middle of a sentence. I just watched and see what you were liking or not liking, and I try to say what I thought you needed to hear in order to like me, and I'm scared to death that nobody's going to like me. And so I never really identified myself or let anybody know who I was. I just tried to be who I thought you wanted me. And I went off to college. I went to Oklahoma State University. Didn't have a scholarship. My folks didn't have the money to pay for me to go. They were willing to try. And there was a lot of terrible things that happened in my life growing up in that house, but my parents did a lot of wonderful things too. They tried real hard to give me a college education, but I unfortunately like to drink. And by the time I got to college and got away from the insanity of my family, my drinking was such that I throw up a lot. I don't know about you guys, but early in my drinking, I would drink past reasonable, and I had to convulse to keep from poisoning myself to death. I had no idea that there was anything queer about that. I just would drink and drink, and I thought the purpose of drinking was to get drunk, so when I got drunk, I thought there wasn't anything queer about that, and I would throw up. And I also would go places I shouldn't go, and I would say things I shouldn't say, and I would spend money I didn't have to spend, and I would be with people I shouldn't be with, and I would take my clothes off a lot. Back in the 60s, streaking was big. Those of you that are old enough to remember, Ray Stevens had a song, they called it a streak. On the college campuses, it was a big deal to take off all your clothes and just run around the campus with no clothes on. They'd line up on the streets, and there we go. It was fun, but every time I get to drinking, I'd take my clothes off, because I call it mooning. I like to moon people. But I would do it in inappropriate times and places. On Mom's Day at fraternity, it didn't work good for me. This fraternity made me a dry pledge. Have you ever heard of that? A dry pledge? They said, "Oh, you embarrass us." And you got to go somewhere to embarrass the fraternity. But I embarrassed them on Mom's Day. So they told me, "You can't drink anymore until you become a member of this fraternity." What? I don't know what you would do in that situation, but I think that's hazing. I know that hazing is against the law. And I became indignant, and needless to say, I did not get initiated into that fraternity, because I didn't know it at the time, but I could not drink. I had no idea at that young age that I could not drink. I always thought I chose to drink. I just like to drink. I like to drink. I drink all the time. I drink a lot. I drink different things. And I like to drink. So, I didn't get initiated, and also didn't do very good at school. It was amazing. You know, it's hard to get up and go to class in the morning when you've been drinking all evening. And that's pretty much what I would do. I don't know about you guys, but I was a real well-intentioned person. I had good intentions, and I wanted you to judge me by my intentions, not my actions. I am going to study for that test, just not right now. And that's the way I did everything. I'm going to do it, just not right now. And then things would come piling down upon me, and things would be done, and the stress would be terrible. And I don't know what you do with your stress, but I don't know how to feel bad or feel anything. So the drink helped knock the edge off of not doing well in school. But that didn't sit well with my family because they were struggling to make those payments, and so they weren't going to help anymore. And I certainly wasn't making good enough grades for a scholarship. And the Vietnam War was raging, and I had a low draft number, and so I had a little army. Here comes Otto, Lauderdale, Scud, class president, top 10, friendliest boy at school. Army didn't give a damn. They did not care. And much to my surprise, much to my dismay, they put me in the infantry. A sharp kid like me. I thought I should have been a general's aide. They should have put me in a motor pool. I grew up around cars. We lived right outside the second turn of the dirt track speedway. That's where our little house sat when those jalopes would come running around turning two. They'd throw mud in our front yard. Location. I love cars, but they didn't put me in the motor pool. They didn't put me in charge of the NCO club. They didn't take me to general's aid. They gave me a rifle. And I did everything I could do to avoid going to Vietnam in 1967, 68 because it was nasty over there. It was awful. And I went to NCOCS and became an instant sergeant. And I went to jump school and got my wings. And then I was a DI for a while and helped prepare other infantrymen to get ready to go to war. And I just had a year left to serve, and it was time for me to go. So I resigned myself to go to Vietnam, and they did it different back then. They learned something from their mistakes. Now they send our boys to Iraq, our men and women to Iraq. They send them as a unit, and they come home as a unit. And they learned that that's better than what they did with us, because with us they sent us as individuals. We got on a plane, we got the camera on bay, they processed us in, they put us on a helicopter, they flew to a fire base, and they dropped you off. And there you were with total strangers. And then when it was time to go home, you left that group, you got on a helicopter, and they flew you back to Cameron Bay, and you got on a plane, and you flew home by yourself. And you had no idea what you were walking back into when you came home to society. But they dropped me off in an outfit that was in the mountains up near where Laos and Cambodia and South Vietnam intersect. And I was in the 4th Infantry Division, which I thought was a terrible mistake because I had airborne wings. I should be in a parachutist. But I don't know about you guys, my life's never been fair. Things just don't work out the way I think they should. Life is not fair, and people don't understand me. I've just been trying to get people to understand for a long time. If you would understand me, then things would be better, but no one understands. They put me in this unit that was an active combat unit. And I was scared to death, but didn't know it. I had grown up being taught not to fear. I wasn't taught to be courageous in the face of fear. I was taught you don't fear.